you're doing a part-time PhD, then who you surround yourself with is incredibly important. And the most important person is, of course, your significant other, your partner, or more commonly known as babe. I did my PhD part-time, and of course my partner, or now husband, played a huge role in how we finally managed to get everything done. And no, he's not an academic, and he was definitely not thrilled that I wanted to work weekends and holidays for the last 8 years. The biggest strain on any relationship is when the individuals want to prioritize their time doing different things. And if you're doing a part-time PhD, then you most likely want to spend all your time working, leaving your partner feeling somewhat abandoned and left on the sidelines. They want to do cool things and have adventures with you, and all you're trying to do is get more alone time and try and make some progress on that damn PhD. So while you're occupied, try and encourage your partner to spend their time in a fun, healthy way. Whether this is gaming, ultramarathons, or CrossFit, they will be amused and you will be able to make some progress. However, do set time aside on a regular basis to make them the #1 priority and do something fun, cool, and bonding together. Because trust me, if your partner can support and tolerate you while you're doing a part-time PhD, then they're definitely something special and you should keep them around for longer. And talking about longer term visions, you're probably going to have some hard discussions about the timing of the big 3 decisions that are typical of your late 20s, early 30s. The stereotypic big 3 decisions, of course, getting married, buying property, and starting a family. Of course, there are endless other options that you can spend your time and energy on, such as traveling the world, starting a business, or ticking off all those things on your bucket list. But these are just the typical ones that I've seen with other PhD students. Your partner has also probably reached a stage of their life where they have the extra energy, time, and resources to do all the fun things that they wanted to do in their early 20s. The problem, of course, is your availability and focus. But rather than letting these things fester under the surface, rather have some honest, open discussions about when we can do what. And it's not just about your PhD, it's their lives too. So try and make some reasonable compromises about what adventures you can go on while you're still doing your part-time PhD. This will hopefully build up your relationship rather than adding additional strain. A PhD is a huge burden on your physical, emotional, and mental state, unless of course you have a full-time cook, a therapist, and a personal trainer. However, there's one thing that if you get right, will help you stay emotionally more stable and definitely add to your productivity. I am of course talking about getting some really good sleep. Prioritize it, romanticize it, but all of course schedule it. And if your partner can somehow support you in getting really good sleep on a regular basis, then that is possibly the best love language of any part-time PhD student. This is especially true if you've already started a family, because nothing says I love you more than letting your partner sleep while taking care of the little ones. However, this is not the only relevant love language that you can talk about. The next most common love language can either be really positive or negative depending on the timeline and the intensity. While your partner might think that it's incredibly sweet and thoughtful handing your most favorite treat food on a regular basis, it's not going to do your health anything good. And considering the timelines of a part-time PhD, these treats definitely add up. So what started out as sweet and enduring lands up a few kgs on the scale. This definitely escalates because if you're doing a part-time PhD, then you're probably not doing as much sport as what you probably want. This isn't to say that you're banned from all your favorite foods, but I think balancing it out with some healthy alternatives might be a long-term sustainable way. Also, lower sugar treats and options will definitely also contribute to better focus. Just save the more unhealthy options for those really emotional days, and maybe try incorporating some healthier alternatives on those other days. The next way your partner can really support you while you're doing a part-time PhD is setting standards incredibly low. Now, this might just be something that I've experienced, but please don't expect me to remember anything. Nothing. If it's not in the shared calendar or you haven't told me a specific action you're expecting from me on that day, then please don't expect me to remember this 5 seconds after you've just told me. The good news is that this definitely does get better after your PhD. But there's a really good reason why the obsessed professor in the movies forget their own children or their own wedding. And while Hollywood hasn't normalized this, it is really typical PhD student behavior. So they will probably forget that you plan to go to CrossFit or that you're expected at your parents' house on the weekend. It's not intentional and it's not malicious, it's just that they have a lot on their mind. Talking about having a lot on your mind, the next way is super simple, and if you can get your partner to support you on this, then it will also result in a way less stressed PhD student. I'm talking about those work sessions where you've planned to do your serious, challenging, hard work, also known as your deep work session. Now, how can your partner support you in these deep work sessions? Firstly, really respect them. So don't call, don't message, don't interrupt, don't knock on the door, don't ask me anything during these times. I know this sounds a little bit aggressive, but it's really, these deep work times are so precious. Just let your PhD partner do the work that they've planned to do for the sessions, and the best way you can do this is actually align your hobbies with these times. So go to your CrossFit, go to your gaming, whatever. Just make sure that you are entertained so you don't have the temptation of distracting your partner when they are trying to work on their PhD. Of course, this works really well before you have kids, but once you start having a family, then this is also really challenging. But before you have kids, this is a great way of accommodating each other. The last two ways are brutally unfair. Your partner can help you so much by doing them, but you yourself will probably fail miserably at doing them yourself. This is where deep love and understanding is really necessary from your partner. The first way is, of course, if your partner can reduce all visual clutter as much as possible. This might include hiding their sneaker collection or finally sorting out that pile of papers that magically grows on their desk. However, you, the PhD student, will be the worst offender with your mad scribblings on your whiteboard, the 23 printed out journal papers, and the pile of textbooks balancing precariously on the edge of your desk. And no, of course you can't tidy them up now or for the next 8 months. Finally, while the PhD student is typically normally the first one to complain about an untidy or messy shared space, during the intense phases of the PhD, they are the worst offenders and they won't even see their own mess, never mind the 6 cups of coffee lying around the house. Here, it is really about understanding and empathy, and if you can get your partner to understand that you're not currently yourself, and this is really about having empathy and understanding from your partner, and that the household mess will definitely contribute to higher stress levels. But it would help the PhD student so much if their partner can help a little bit more around the house and turn a blind eye when you are the one creating the mess, because you know for sure that the mess in the house is nothing compared to the mess in your head at the moment. Have I missed any other significant ways your partner can help you during a PhD? Let me know in the comments, or if you found something particularly useful or insightful, let me know too.